Hey everyone. So, is our culture toxic? First, let's define what a culture is. In science, a culture is when scientists grow microorganisms, cells, or tissues in a controlled lab environment. They create ideal conditions, nutrients, temperature, etc., so the organisms can thrive and be studied. In society, culture is the shared beliefs, values, and traditions of a group of people. It influences how we think, behave, and interact with one another. It shapes our language, customs, and sense of identity. Culture evolves as it's passed down through generations. So, what happens when cultures become toxic? In science, when a culture turns toxic, harmful imbalances disrupt growth, leading to unintended consequences. What once thrived becomes dangerous and unusable. Now, in society, a toxic culture is one where negative behaviors like hostility, discrimination, and stress become the norm. People feel unsafe, unsupported, and unable to thrive. Now, globally, we're all part of a shared culture, connected by common values and experiences. Even though different places have unique traditions, technology and social movements bring us closer together. This global culture influences how we relate to one another, reminding us that we're all navigating a shared human journey. Now, when global society becomes toxic, we see real consequences. Unchecked greed leads to environmental destruction, worsening climate change, and threatening ecosystems. Economic inequality deepens, leaving millions in poverty. Social media spreads misinformation and division, making it harder to connect or trust one another. On a global scale, this toxicity fosters conflict and isolation, preventing us from solving the big challenges we all face. So again, I ask, is our society toxic? I believe it is. We're seeing rising drug addiction as people struggle with mental health, and suicide rates are climbing due to isolation and depression. Violence from mass shootings to domestic abuse is becoming more common. Discrimination continues to divide us, and burnout is leaving many exhausted and lost. These are real issues affecting our ability to live healthy, connected lives. So, what's the solution? Well, it's going to take all of us to implement real change. So, there's a few ideas. First, we need to prioritize mental health care, therapy, coaching, and support. When people heal and manage stress, they build stronger connections. Healthy minds create healthier societies. Next, we need a different kind of education that teaches critical thinking, empathy, and emotional intelligence to reduce division and foster cooperation. Environmental action is crucial too. We need sustainable practices and corporate accountability to protect our planet. Economically, reducing the wealth gap and ensuring access to basic needs will help build a fair society. And finally, community building is key. When people feel connected, they're less likely to fall into isolation and division. By addressing mental health, education, the environment, and economic reform, we can start healing the toxicity around us and move forward together. But there's always a caveat. It starts with each of us. We all have a responsibility to ourselves, to each other, and to the planet. We can't live in a toxic culture and expect to thrive. It's time to create an environment where every living being has a chance to flourish. And as Krishnamurti said, education, science, and religion have absolutely not solved our problems. So, despite progress in these fields, fundamental human issues like conflict and suffering persist, suggesting that our current approaches aren't addressing the root causes. Real solutions come from inner transformation. This is why no matter what solutions we create or I spout about, the real change begins within each of us. We must take responsibility for our part in all of this by searching for the solutions within. For those who don't know where to start, remember that even though this is inner work, you can find external support. The key is that the support you seek should guide you to your own answers, not claim to be the answer itself. It's always going to start with you. All right, everyone. As always, I love you. And until next time, peace.